What's up guys, it's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I want to do a quick video showing you guys how to view hardware information in the Linux operating system. So as I stated in the intro of the video, I want to show you guys how to view hardware information in the Linux operating system. Now this will be a very simple video, and I'm gonna try to keep it short, super short, under 10 minutes at least, but I wanted to show you guys how the operating system actually works or handles hardware information by showing you the specific files that you look at or that you can see that will give you the information on hardware that's connected to the system. For instance, you can look at the processor, the RAM information, and a lot of this information can be found in applications like HTOP. Also, if you add one of those screen fetch or neo fetch applications that will show you the information about the system. But I wanted to show you where this information is located so you can find out more information about the hardware that's installed within the system. Now, it's two different ways to actually find this hardware information. And let's say this is a system that this is your first time touching. You came into a business and you want to see what's actually within the system without opening up the case, shutting it down, opening up the case. And let's say it has Linux on it or a Linux server. It's two different ways to actually look at the hardware information. You can simply look at the files that contain the hardware information, or you can use those utilities like I was talking about, like NeoFetch, ScreenFetch, and there's some other utilities that are built into the system that'll allow you to do that, and I'll show you guys those commands when we get further along in the video. So let me go ahead on and switch over to the terminal so I can walk you guys through where this hardware information is located and how to actually view it and all that good stuff. So let's get started. Okay, cool. So I'm logged into my virtual machine. This is Ubuntu 20.04, and let me go down and clear the screen right fast so we can start with a clean slate. But this is Ubuntu 20.04, and the way you view the hardware information is basically under the proc directory. Now let's go down and cd to the root directory, and that'll take us. I'm basically in the root directory, so I'm gonna ls right fast, and that way I can show you all the files and folders that are underneath the root directory. And what we're actually looking for is the proc directory, and this directory is basically created when the system actually boots up. Is created, and it's really created when you actually access it based on documentation that I've read about the Linux operating system. So now let's go into that directory right fast. And it's basically a virtual directory. That's another thing that it calls it within specific documentation. So let's go into the proc directory, press enter, and I want to ls this directory right fast so you guys can see what's all underneath it. Now let me kind of explain what everything is within this directory. A lot of these folders right here, all the blue ones, they are folders. So just to tell you what they are, why they represented by a number, the number represents the process that's actually on the system. So whenever a process starts, it creates a folder, and all the information for that process is within that folder. But what we want to look at is the actual files that are in here. And as you can see, it's a few of them that I want to show you. I'm gonna go down and just open them up right fast. But one of them is really that CPU information. So you can gather the CPU information just by catting out that file. So let's go cat CPU info, and let's go down and pipe it into more right fast so we can get that CPU information. We can kind of scroll down, what I'm saying, throughout it. But as you can see, that's basically the end of the file. I thought it was going to be longer. Yeah, that's right. This is a virtual machine. I only have one core in it, so it's only one processor that it sees. So that's all the processor information just by pulling up that directory and opening up that or catting out that actual file that gives you all the CPU information. Now let's go down and ls this directory again, but it's another file that I want to show you, and that is the memory information. So that information is represented in this file. So I'm gonna just press the up arrow again, and let's go back in here to this port and type mem info and press enter, and there you go. We have the memory information, and you know, you have the memory total, free, available, and I know you guys have seen this in HTOP, you know what I'm saying, as well as other applications like NeoFetch, GreenFetch, you know, if you have those installed on your system. But this is a way to actually look at the information where a lot of those applications are actually pulling the information from when it runs. And that's really why I wanted to show you guys this stuff. So let's press Q for quit, and then I want to ls this directory again because it's another file I want to actually show you guys. And this is something that'll look very familiar, and it's the version. So and this is basically that kernel version information that you can view by running the uname command. Now let's up arrow again, and the version is right here, just show you guys. So that's version. So let's type that in right now and just cat that out, and this will definitely look familiar to you. If you ever ran the uname command, uname-a, this is basically where it gets the information from. This is the version information. It pulls in, you know, the Linux kernel. This is the kernel version, as well as the build, you know, all the information on it. You can see Ubuntu, you know, pretty much the same thing you would see when you run the uname command. Now let me show you something else that's pretty cool, because if you've used NeoFetch or ScreenFetch, a lot of times it shows you the uptime, or if you learn the uptime command, and you guys know that basically tells you how long the system has been up. So let's cut out that file as well. I'm not gonna pipe it, but let's just type uptime, tab it out, press enter, and that gives you the representation of the amount of time that the server has been up. But there's a lot more information in here. You can actually look at the file systems, and I won't go through all of them. Command line, crypto, devices. You can actually look at device information, swap, if you have swap, stat. You know, pretty much any type of hardware information is mostly represented under this directory. Now you can also check out input devices. This is one cool thing I want to show you guys as well. Like for instance, like your keyboard, mouse, you can look at that information and see what's actually connected to your system or connected to the system. Let's say it's a remote server or something, and you just want to see what input devices are actually connected to the system. So if we type cd, and what we're going to do is go into the bus directory, and then also let's go into inputs and press enter. So that's basically the directory is proc bus input. So I'm gonna ls this directory right fast so you guys can see. But if you look right here, there's a file in here called devices. So let's cat that file out as well. Let's go devices, and then let's pipe that into more and press enter, and we can go through it or whatever. But power button, that's the physical power button on the front of the machine, which is really not no physical power button on this machine because this is a virtual machine. But if you scroll down a little bit or look through it a little bit, you can see that it shows the mouse. So this is the mouse. It says mouse 1, mouse 2, and I'm assuming one of those is the keyboard, but I'm not 100% sure. It says Kwamu USB tablet. Well, anyway, this has to do with the virtual machine, how it's set up in Proxmox. That's probably why it's showing in a weird way, but it'll typically show the information, the name, you know, and all the information about the input device that's connected to the system. So that's another way of actually viewing that information. Now let me go down and just cd, because I'm not gonna mess with anything or show you guys anything more in that directory. I just wanted to show you guys a few more commands or some of the utilities that you can actually use. Now if you type ls usb, that'll actually, and I spelt it wrong, but LSUSB, that's one of the commands that you can use that will list USB devices. So I just wanted you guys to see that's the same information, or pretty much the same information. You see how it says that QAMU USB tablet, that's an input device. So it's a USB input device. It's a virtualized input device, but it basically gives you that same information. I just wanted to show you one of the utilities that actually gives you some information, as well as another command. It's basically HW info, and press enter, and I'll show you the hardware info. And this application is actually not installed, so let me go down and install it right fast so you guys can see what it actually brings up. So if you want to get that information, then you can simply install this application or utility and see a little bit of the hardware information on here. And it's a small utility, so it won't take too long to install, but let's go down and type HW info. Is done, and there we go, and that'll pull in a lot of the hardware information as well. And I thought this command would come standard, but I guess not. But you kind of have to search through a lot of this stuff. It shows you the disk drives and all the information about them, partitions, all that good information. So it's pretty much a full-blown hardware information command, so you want to have that on here. Now let's say you want to look for PCI devices only. There is another command you can run, LSPCI. Press enter, and there you go. That'll bring in the PCI device information, as well as one of the other files that we looked at was the uptime file. Well, you can run the uptime command, and it'll show you the time in a standard time that most humans are human readable time, so to speak. And as you can see, that's the information. It also shows the amount of users that are logged in, the load average. That's one cool thing about uptime. It gives you a little bit more information. And then the last command or utility I wanted to show you guys was HTOP. I've done videos on HTOP. I've shown HTOP hundreds of times, but that'll give you that memory information, so if you need that, as well as processors. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully this information helps someone that's new to Linux. That was the whole purpose of me doing this video, so you guys can get a little bit of information on how to work with hardware on your physical system within the operating system. So let me know if you liked the video. Hit the thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave comments down in the comment boxes below, and of course, keep it techie.